Hello and welcome back to Perfect Spiral Capital. It's Monday, that means it's Mindset Monday, and we're going to continue with our series looking at the 5 so called human problems that Nelson Nash covers in his book, Becoming Your Own Banker. This week, we're going to be looking at the 5th of the 5 problems, and that is use it or lose it. Now, Nelson stresses here that all 5 of these problems are really struggling against human nature. Use it or lose it reminds us that we all have a comfort zone. We all have a unique set of life experiences and habits and things that we're used to doing in particular ways. And those things kind of create this comfort zone. The problem is, we're likely to fall back into our comfort zone if we don't actually implement the things that we learn. We've all experienced this at some point. You're working on forming a new habit, you're trying to improve your life or your workflow, and then you start to feel a little lazy and unmotivated. You end up doing exactly what you used to do before you tried to implement this new habit. As the saying goes, you may not be able to teach an old dog new tricks. However, we are human beings. We can think about how we think, and we can work on improving ourselves in profound ways. We just have to stick to it. It's worth noting here that this is closely related to the previous problem we looked at, problem number 4. That's the arrival syndrome. It's not quite the same, but it is closely tied to that. In the book, Nelson then shifts the discussion to economic value added, or EVA, or EVA. This seems like a complete change of subject. It seems like it has nothing to do with the comments before. And honestly, the first few times that I read Becoming Your Own Banker, I did struggle with this. It's what in the world does EVA have to do with use it or lose it? Well, let's look at EVA for a moment and see if we can't figure that out together. EVA, or again, economic value added, it's a way to look at a company's performance economically by also considering the cost of capital. So, not nearly EVA or EVA is a way to look at a company's economic performance while also factoring in their cost of capital. In other words, how much does it cost to deploy money for particular purposes? It's not mere profitability, but it's profitability factoring in cost of capital. This is something that can quickly become very confusing, and it's not the focus of this video to fully explain EVA or do EVA calculations, so I won't. However, there are 2 big ways that this idea ties back to use it or lose it. The first one is that many companies attempted to implement EVA, particularly when this was a very popular idea, and they didn't really take it all the way. They sort of played around with the idea of EVA. They sort of kind of implemented it, but they didn't make it a way of life. And so, big surprise, they didn't really get the benefit from it. They played around with it and then discarded it. They went back to, that's right, their old habits, their comfort zone. After all, anyone can eat one really healthy meal, but that really doesn't have an impact on their long term health. Even 1 or 2 or 3 healthy meals isn't a commitment. It doesn't actually make a difference over the long term. In other words, you have to make a commitment in order to get the benefit. That's the principle we're seeing here with EVA. Now, the other way that EVA ties in with this is that it relates back to the infinite banking concept, the focus of the whole book. EVA actually considers that when you take money out of, say, a savings account and you go deploy it in some kind of investment or project for your business, you're losing out on the interest that that money would have earned if it stayed in the savings account. You don't get to have both. You get to have either the interest over time or the potential performance of the investment move. So, if we recognize that there is a cost for taking money out of savings and putting it in another project, what is the cost? Well, it's the cost of the interest that the money could have earned if it stayed where it was. In other words, it's one of the core fundamental understandings that goes into the infinite banking concept. It's one of the key ideas in becoming your own banker. You have to understand that even when you spend cash, there's still an interest cost. To once again paraphrase Nelson Nash, anytime you can cut out the payment of interest to others and redirect that same market rate of interest to an entity that you own and control, you have improved your situation. So today's message is get out there, take responsibility, improve your financial knowledge, and then actually implement the things that you learn. Otherwise, you're missing out. You're going to lose out on the benefit you could have earned from that knowledge. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have questions on how you can implement the infinite banking concept in your business or personal life, we are here to help. You'll find links in the description box below to book a meeting with our team, and we can put you on the right track to doing things keeping in mind your capital cost when you do business. If you did like this video, there will be another one just like it coming up on the screen in a few seconds. Be sure to click that one and check it out as well. Thanks so much for being here. I'll see you in the next video.